I'm Brent.
And I'm Emily.
And we're the Smeenks.
And this is our adoption story.
Watching my grandparents build their family through adoption gave me the passion to build my family through adoption as well. I saw the benefit that my grandparents provided to my aunts and uncles, so that's kind of why I've always wanted to.
When I first met Brent and we were dating, he mentioned that, and I feel like I fluctuated between wanting to have kids and maybe never having kids. But I think what's so cool is seeing Brent be so passionate about a dream that he had that I was just kind of like, sure, like, let's do it. We knew of this family at the church we grew up in who had done a domestic adoption. Brent and I are dialoguing about what we're going to do next and what domestic adoption program to go through. We're getting ready for a small town parade, and I'm doing my hair and I'm praying, and I'm like, God, if you want us to use this agency that we've heard about and know about through this family, and I didn't really know who this family, I knew of them, probably couldn't have picked them out of a crowd, but I said, if we should move forward, like, I want to run into them at the parade and talk to them about this agency, which is such a random like thing to pray. But I'm sitting on the curb at the parade and this lady walks over to me and is like, Emily, and it was her. I was like, hi. So we chatted. She gave me some more information. That was on a Saturday, and I called the agency first thing Monday morning. We fell in love with them. I just felt seen and heard, and again, felt just like loved through the journey and choices that we were making. And so we went for it, and we filled out an application and started the paperwork process for our domestic adoption, and that was in September of 2018. And the way that our agency works is birth moms, when they make the choice to place their baby for adoption, they get to look through profiles of families, so they get to pick the family that they think would be a good fit. And then the agency calls us, kind of gives us background information on birth mom, baby, health, different things, and we can decide if we would like to move forward or we can say no at that time. In early 2019, we got a phone call that a birth mom had chosen us, and so we said yes. We were excited. Baby was going to be due in July, so we actually had quite a bit of time, and we really got to know this birth mom. We developed a relationship with her. We felt really just excited and good about this baby being born and having this whole family connection, being able to have a connection with the birth mom and kind of do life not so much together, but just
be involved, be a part.
Yeah, that was something we actually had prayed about. So we flew out. We were asked to be at the hospital. It was a pretty traumatic pregnancy. There was some complications. In the state of Georgia, which is where our agency is located, birth moms have 4 days from the time they sign paperwork giving you guardianship of the child. They have 4 days where they can change their mind. And due to the traumatic pregnancy, the baby was kept in the hospital for those 4 days, and birth mom went back and forth on what she wanted to do. There was a lot of family complications. There was a lot of stuff going on in the background, which we knew about. And in the end, she chose to parent her child, which was great. That is what you want, is that these women can be supported. And her family did come around and were able to support her in that decision, which initially she did not think would be the case, but it left us just heartbroken again. Like, what you think will be God redeeming a story just feels like complete heartbreak. And I mean, I just remember like sitting on the shower floor crying, like wondering, what are we gonna do? I mean, I think we laid in bed and cried and just like, what are we gonna do? are we ever having kids? And yeah, it was really devastating. Flying home with an empty car seat, having to come back and tell, like, people thought we were coming back with a baby. We came home from that, and it was devastating. It was really hard to bounce back from that. Our agency just puts you right back on the list as you feel comfortable. And so again, we were just in this season of waiting. Like, you want a phone call, but you're also like, don't call me unless the baby's born and ready to go, because you just have no idea. So in January of 2020, we received another phone call, and they said it was going to be a baby boy. And so instantly I was like, no thanks.
I was like, let's go.
Yeah, he's like, all right. We were supposed to have a girl. So I had this whole idea built up of what it would be like. And they said it was a boy. And I remember sitting on our steps and actually thinking, like, no, we're not going to say yes to this. And Brent's like, yes, we are. So we said yes. He was set to be due in the beginning of February. And so we only had a few weeks to get boy stuff. We had all girl stuff, and fly out. So again, we flew out, and our son, Memphis Mercury, we'll get emotional again, was born on February 7th, 2020. And we met our social workers and picked him up. And those 4 days were hard, knowing that she could change her mind. But then those 4 days went by, and I remember something God taught me in all of that. I woke up in the middle of the night. Memphis needed to be fed, and I was holding him, and I just was in love with him. And this was my baby, but he wasn't my baby at any point for the next 48 hours. We were 2 days in at that time. She could decide that she wanted him back, and I just remember getting up and going into the bathroom and crying and being so afraid of it all happening over again. And I remember God just audibly in the middle of the night said, your kids are your kids as long as I allow them to be your kids, whether it's 2 days, 4 days, 40 years, whatever that looks like they're the gift from him. And that I just felt like my attitude turned around right after that, and I was able to make it through those 4 days, and I'm still making it today. So yeah, we brought Memphis home. We were in Georgia for a few weeks, so it was almost a month before we got back home with him, and it was just the best, like a little miracle, like with
all the struggle and the heartache all kind of melted away.
A couple more months went by, and we got a call about this birth mom, and I loved her story, and we said yes. We were like, yeah, we'll move forward. It was not an easy yes. I did a lot of talking with our social worker to kind of work through this particular match. So we said yes to that match, and on July 6th, 2022, Ziggy was born, and all of our families flew in, and it was just the best summer vacation I've ever had. Memphis came. We just got to have all this.
Stayed at the beach, and all our families were there. Now we have 2 boys. It's kind of come full circle. We, through the ups and the downs, in the hardest of times, it felt like there was, no end in sight. But now, through each of those heartaches, we've had the most joy getting our boys. Like it was kind of high highs, low lows.
I think it's been cool to see God's faithfulness. I think it's been cool to know like how much we've doubted God and been so broken and angry, and to still see him show up and love us and provide. He didn't walk away from us or our dreams when we felt like that was the case. He just had a better plan and better timing, and looking back, I couldn't imagine having our boys, having any other child in our home at any other time than when we got them. I think that while our story is our story of adoption and how we built our family. I think what I love about it is it's everyone's story. It's this journey of having a dream and being faithful to a call that God has given you when no one else can understand or see that call, but staying faithful to it because we know it's our call from God, and doubting God and being angry and expressing that and truly walking it out with God, and then seeing the joy from staying faithful. And so I just feel like if it's a baby you're waiting on, or a job, or a spouse, or you want victory in your marriage, or for a family member or a child in your home already, I just hope that our story gives hope, because that's just truly who I believe God is, having gone through just some of the most heartbreaking times.
And coming out on the other side, even though it was tough, it seemed tough, but just having that faith to keep pursuing, sticking with it.